Phoebe Sounds It Out, written by Julie Zwillich, illustrated by Denise Holmes. Phoebe pulled on her rain boots. Mama called them galoshes and Granny called them wellies, but Phoebe called them rain boots because that is what they were for, splashing about in the rain. Phoebe liked her boots a lot. But it wasn't raining today, so Phoebe decided to call them sun boots. And now she was ready for school. Phoebe's favorite teacher was Miss Martha. She was kind and smart. When Miss Martha saw Phoebe in her sun boots, she said, "Well, we'll just have to put the sprinklers on after lunch and splash around." Miss Martha totally understands boots. "But first," said Miss Martha, "let's work on writing our names." The other teacher, Miss April, put a big basket of pencils on the table and got out her guitar. Miss April liked singing better than talking. Phoebe chose a pencil, then decided to put her right sun boot on her left foot and her left sun boot on her right foot was more important. Phoebe's toes felt wrong in her boots. Miss April sat down next to her. "Phoebe, we're writing our names. Give it a try." Phoebe had seen her name before. Mama had even stitched it on her ladybug backpack, but it started with a P and had a whole lot of letters that didn't make sense. Phoebe figured her mother had made a mistake, and she didn't want Mama to feel bad about it because everyone makes mistakes, even mamas. Just sound it out. Phoebe put down her pencil and picked up another one. Then she held it under her nose and pretended it was a mustache. Miss April was floating around the table singing quietly, "Just sound it out." Phoebe sounded it out the first letter of her name. It was certainly not how her name began on her backpack. P was for popcorn and pencils, and she knew the letter that made the right sound. One line and two sticks. The next sound was E. Phoebe drew one and threw in an extra so the first E wouldn't feel lonely. Maybe that's what Mama was doing when she stitched that crazy O. Now Phoebe was at the letter she loved, the only one that made sense on the ladybug backpack. And when she sounded out, a bubble and a stick. The hard part was getting it to face the right way. At the end of her name was the E sound again. Phoebe wanted to try something different. Maybe she could borrow a letter that was on the end of Nikki's name. It sounded right. Nikki wouldn't mind. Miss Martha came over and looked at the children's work. "Something's not right," she said. She turned and walked away. Phoebe's boots felt hot on her feet. Maybe they were only for rainy days. Miss Martha returned and placed a box on the table. "We forgot to decorate our names with glitter glue." Phoebe liked glitter glue a lot. She opened up the orange tube and squished it all over her name. It sparkled and shone. When Phoebe ran out of glitter glue, she switched to her right sun boot onto her right foot and her left sun boot onto her left foot. Ah, that felt better. Phoebe handed her name to Miss Martha, who smiled and said, "What a great start."